Hello and welcome along to the second in a series of 4 FM20 plans videos with me, Daniel. Today we're back for our first club announcement in the build up to FM20 as we talk about the side we'll be managing in the FM20 Beta Save, a one season challenge which will run alongside the start of our long-term one club story, hopefully enabling us to have success in both. So we'll get into the club we're going to be managing in a moment and we'll talk about the idea of this FM20 Beta Save in a bit more detail. Of course, last year we just started both of our long-term stories at once, and this year we're going to be doing something slightly different. I mentioned a few of the reasons for those last week. That was in our first plans video for Football Manager 2020, where we talked about our content plans generally for the whole year, the type of saves we're going to be doing and when we're going to try and do them, a lot of the challenges I wanted to take on, and also it gave you the opportunity to vote for our second long-term story this season. So please go back and check that one out if you haven't already, and make sure you cast your vote to let me know which save you'd prefer to see as we get past the January transfer update and I start my second long-term story. But today it's all about the announcement for our FM20 Beta Save, which club we're going to be managing, and we'll obviously talk a little bit about the rules we've made for the save as well, just to keep it a bit more interesting personally. Then next Saturday at the same time, 4:30 on Saturday, we'll have the club announcement for our long-term one club story. That will obviously run alongside the start of this save as soon as the FM20 Beta's released. So that's obviously going to be the big one, as that'll be a 6-month story on the channel, and then in 2 weeks time we'll have the result of our vote from last week's episode to find out what our second long-term story will be this season. So fingers crossed you'll come and join me for all of those, and you are looking forward to the content for FM20. If you are, please do put a thumbs up on the video, and of course if you're new to the channel then subscribe for daily FM20 content. I'm really looking forward to what we've got in store. Let's very quickly move on to the schedule we're planning for the FM20 Beta release, just in case any of you didn't catch up with it last week. We'll have episodes from this save that we're announcing today, every Tuesday and Saturday at 4:30. We're going to complete one full season with the challenge. Of course, if it's really popular and we're absolutely loving it, we will consider doing one more year. But at first it is just a one season save, and we've got a set goal in mind for the club. My plan is over the first few months of FM20, it is the first of many short-term challenges we're hoping to do. I've got a list of about 6 or 7 clubs actually that I'm really looking forward to having a one season save with, just for special reasons or because they've had great achievements in recent years. So it is something I hope you'll enjoy on the channel. Lots of short-term series, of course running alongside our long-term one club story. And then just a reminder for anyone who's following Cricket 19 at the moment, they'll still continue on Tuesday and Saturday at midday, so you can catch those ones at their normal time, and then this beta save will be out at 4:30. So let's not hold it up any longer. I'm sure you're all here to find out who we're going to be managing, so let's go and announce the club and talk about why we picked the team. So I'm afraid I couldn't resist. I will be managing my beloved Luton Town for the FM20 Beta Save. It's a one club series and there's a very good reason for it. They're on the back of successive promotions from League 2 up to the Championship. Of course they won League 1 last year, pipping Barnsley on the final day of the season, and the year before they finished second in League 2 with Accrington Stanley running away as champions. Of course it was only 5 years ago that we'd come up from the National League after being stuck down there for 5 years following a relegation. Of course we were famous in 2008-09 for the -30 points and for effectively having our relegation confirmed before the season, but we still went on and won the Johnston Paint Trophy. Of course that one's now the Leasing.com Trophy and has loads of under 23 teams in it, but at the time it was a fantastic day out at Wembley and certainly one I'll never forget. We've had some grand old days along the way, particularly in the likes of the FA Cup, a win away from home at Premier League Norwich while we were a National League side, one of many achievements and record-breaking moments, which was amazing to be a part of as a fan. We've got a wonderful local board in place who are fans of the club, and we're on the verge of building a new stadium. The site's now being cleared as planning permission's been given. So plenty to be excited about with Luton Town, but at the moment this will just be a one club series, and my main goal is trying to survive in the Championship, despite having probably the smallest budget in the league. Of course the ground restriction is the main reason for that at the moment. We've actually got a waiting list for season tickets. That's absolutely remarkable for a club that was in the National League 5 years ago, and of course has only come from League 2 in the last 2 seasons. You may have seen a couple of our games on the TV already this year if you are following the EFL in real life, and I'm sure you will have enjoyed the way we play, as generally we play good possession football. So I'm looking to continue that and try and finish 21st or above, and maybe we could do something absolutely remarkable and try and finish a bit higher up the table. But let's talk about the rules we've imposed for this series as well. Not too many, it's a little bit more relaxed than some of our other saves. Of course, in a long-term series we don't use the player search or staff search screen, and in the head coach we don't do anything to do with transfers at all, and we don't have any say in contracts either. But this one doesn't have any of those restrictions. It will just be a bit more of a classic Football Manager save. So for the one season we'll have no restriction at all on the use of the player search or staff search screen, and the main reason for that is I want to see what they're capable of, what sort of players the Football Manager think that Luton Town can attract, and what sort of wage budgets are we able to go up to. I'm really interested to see how they view us in the football world. We will work within our board budgets though, to prevent the club running into any debt. It's something that's very important to the current board in real life, and as a fan we have to try and stick to that. It's something that we need to be very focused on, in fact, is making decisions with our head rather than making them with our heart. You're probably going to have to help me with that along the way by shouting at me down in the comments for making emotional decisions, so fingers crossed you'll join in and get involved with that, as it's certainly going to be one that means a bit more to me. The only real self-imposed rule I've put on myself, which you wouldn't expect in a normal Football Manager save, is that I've strictly refused to sack any current staff, so we can make additions if there are available spaces for backroom team members, but we cannot sack any of the current backroom team, as they're all doing a brilliant job at Luton Town, and again we've got to make sure we continue to build that. We're in a unique position as a club in real life. Our manager left halfway through the League One winning season. The caretaker Mick Harford, a club legend, led us up. He's now back in his chief recruitment role, and we had a new manager in Graham Jones, who's managing the club pretty well at the moment. But I'm going to take his reins and try and do as well as he has, and if not a little bit better, trying to get us further up the Championship. And most importantly, we've only got one chance, so if we get sacked at any point in the season, we're not going to be able to start again. We just have to accept it, and maybe we'll take another job, or perhaps we'll just call it a dramatic failure. Hopefully with a one season save, and a club that are probably expected to get relegated, that won't be the case at all. But you never know what the expectations will be in FM20, and that's part of the wonder of finding out when it's released. So not the longest video, but of course an important one, and one that's going to make it a save dear to my heart. I want to thank you for watching as always. If you did enjoy this video and the announcement, please put a thumbs up on the video. Of course, let me know your thoughts on the choice of club. I couldn't resist playing as my beloved Luton Town. I've already played FM18 and 19 on the channel without doing it, so I think this year I had to make it happen. It seemed the perfect moment with the progression of the club, and the fact they're in a new league after 2 successive promotions. It just seemed like the right moment to take them on. We're going to be the underdogs in most games, and we've got to try and achieve something special. Survival is the key. Do you think I should be aiming higher? Of course we've got a few bigger name players now, but we've still got a relatively tiny budget. As I said at the start, if you are looking forward to this FM20 Beta save, or our plans generally with the long-term story too, please do subscribe to the channel. We'll have daily FM20 content once the beta's released, 5 episodes a week from our One Club story, and then on the other days, Tuesday and Saturday, we'll have Cricket 19 content and this FM20 Beta save. That's going to be with Luton Town, we now know, and I hope you'll come and join me next week as well to find out who we'll be managing in our One Club story. That will be next Saturday at 4:30, and I hope to see you again for that one. But a massive thanks for watching as always, I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for more FM20 announcements.